For a lot of young men on self-improvement, we have to admit that the reason we got into this was because of a lack of love or luck with girls. And I did mention in the video why it's important to acknowledge this and redirect that energy into becoming the best version of yourself. And I do stand by that. But a downside of having this as a motivation is that it impacts your ability to stay focused over a long period of time, right? It can consume your mind so much that it becomes difficult to stay focused over a long period of time, right? It's difficult to build consistent, impactful progress, when you're falling in love with different women, every couple of weeks or whatever, that you probably won't get together with or whatever, right? And I'm not talking about, a woman that you could potentially date. I'm speaking about those unrequited crushes, on women that, maybe they have a boyfriend or, like way out of your league or whatever it is. Like you're never going to be together. Well, never, but probably not, right? And that can really affect your ability to be consistent over a long period of time, because it's impacting your mind. You can't stay focused for very long, right? And I spoke in a couple of videos ago, I spoke about the importance of building the mindset of a dominator. And I think that applies here, right? A dominator will not get affected by this kind of thing, right? They stay focused on their goal, they know where they're going, and they've thought about that, and they've sorted it out, right? And I think, like I said, it's very important to build the mindset of a dominator. Now, how do you embody this mindset of a dominator, right? I want to speak about psycho-cybernetics. I've spoken about this many times before, right? It's the ultimate self-improvement book, the only self-improvement book you'll ever need. But basically, the gist of it is that when you're trying to do all the good habits and change your life and all that, New Year's resolutions and all that crap, is that it feels like you're swimming upstream because you're going against who you are. And there's something called the snapback effect, which happens basically every single time, right? Except in certain circumstances, which I'll get to now. But basically, when you're trying to do all the good habits, it feels like you're swimming upstream, and eventually you're going to lose because you're going off of sheer willpower, and your brain is like, no. This is not what we do. You come back to ground zero. This is where we are, right? But the circumstances where people actually change is when they focus on changing their self-image, right? When you change your self-image, everything else flows down very nicely, right? You change your self-image into someone who does those good habits or whatever it is. Then it feels like you're swimming downstream. Your brain is working with you, right? It makes everything else easier for you. Now, that sounds amazing, right? Oh yeah, if I could change my life, it would feel so much easier if I was swimming, if it felt like I was swimming downstream. How do you do that, right? And this is where psycho-cybernetics comes in. It's this book, like I said, I think you should go read it, go listen to the audiobook like I did, and take down notes. But basically, you do it through visualization, right? Vivid visualizations, 30 minutes a day, every day for 21 days at least, before you start seeing results. And that changes well, it doesn't change the makeup of your brain, but you know what I mean. It changes your subconscious into believing that you're that person, right? And then you start doing those good habits. But yeah, you use that. I've made a couple of videos on psycho-cybernetics, so you can go watch that if you want to go deeper into it. But just go read the book. It's an awesome book. It'll change your life, right? But if you want to build the mindset of a dominator, that's how you do it, right? So you embody the mindset of a dominator, and a dominator doesn't get affected by this kind of thing. Like I said, it just doesn't affect them because they focus on certain things. And yeah, okay, I've got here a list of my other tips that I think would help with this. And I think the first one is music, right? I think overall, music in general, I think it's something I've been noticing in the last 2 years, where it really affects the way you think. If there are people who don't believe that, I genuinely don't know how they can think that, because it genuinely affects your thoughts. And your thoughts affect your actions, which affect your life and whatever. But music affects so much for you. So I've been trying not to listen to secular music at all. I've been kind of inconsistent with it, but yeah, I'm trying to completely cut out secular music, because I'm not trying to have we talk about how everything is very sexualized nowadays. Music it's right at the core of that. It's at the core of that. So if you want a reason to stop listening to music in general, that's that. But in particular this topic, I'd say stop listening to love songs, right? It just consumes your mind and changes the way you're thinking. And I think that's a good tip to help stop this, basically. yeah, so you can listen to like I have this type of music I call mafia boss music, right? So you can just imagine like your hype music, like your Drake or like UK like Dave, you know that music that you imagine like a mafia boss is playing, or you know if you're like in Creed, like you're watching Creed or like a boxing movie, and they're like doing the entrance, they got that music playing that makes them feel like I'm the boss, right? That kind of music. I have a playlist with that. Like I said, I want to generally stop listening to secular music, but if I am listening, I'm not. I stop listening to like love songs. I listen to like my mafia boss music because I'm trying to build that mindset, right? Yeah. Excuse me. And yeah, and the other one is just have self-respect, right? Like I spoke earlier about like it's like an unrequited crush, right? I remember seeing somewhere, I think it was Hamza who said it or whatever. It was like, bro, what kind of grown man has a crush? That is that's just embarrassing, right? Like have some self-respect, right? And also just yeah, just knowing that like okay, if you've got like a crush on like a girl, like you know you guys aren't gonna be together. It's kind of like, bro, like you know there's like you know there's someone else out there for you, right? And then if you do build yourself, that person that's out there for you in the future like will blow the current person out the water, and they'll love you like the way you want to be loved and everything, and you won't have to like go through all of this crap, right? It's like long view, just have some self-respect, okay? Like I said, like the picture of like, oh, you're a grown man having a crush or whatever, or just picture like a dominator, picture someone you see as like a dominator, like I see like Harvey Specter or like Tommy Shelby or like James Bond or whatever. Can you picture them doing something like that? It's like no. And if you want to become a guy like them, then you need to have like the same mentality, right? That's kind of how it works. But yeah, you guys let me know what you think of the topic down in the comment section below. And until next time, I'll see you boys. And make sure you hit subscribe. I forgot to say that. Don't forget to hit subscribe. Until next time, I'll see you boys.